Welcome to the BAM Sports Show.
I carefully place all of it in various trash cans around.
Any other headlines you guys are interested in tomorrow?
I'll poop in a urinal.
It's going to be a wet one.
He shoots, he scores, you suck.
Rick's wife is going to make him sleep in the bathroom tub tonight.
A dark horse candidate of where I may eventually want to end up living for good. Welcome to a brand new sports show experience coming through your wavelengths. Let's get ready to have some fun. So sit back, crack open a drink, and let's talk some sports.
And let's talk some sports indeed. Welcome to the BAM Sports Show. I'm your host, Blake. What the hell are you doing?
You see that?
Is that a spider?
The spider just like... You just dropped down in front of my monitor.
We are making a great first impression as we are live on the Let's Talk Sports YouTube channel as well as our own. I'm joined tonight with, as always, the boys. We got that dude down in Jacksonville. We got Keith and we got my boy Ryan.
Hey-yo.
What's up, fellas?
And I'm even rocking. Yeah, he just got a spider.
That's what happened.
There's a spider.
You should have let
I'm
it
even
bite you to see
rocking
if
my
it was
new,
Spider-Man.
well, I say new, my used,
New
but
to
new
you.
to me. New to me. I got a Jacksonville Sharks jersey. Shout out to the Jacksonville Sharks. I got that, and I got this hat. That's pretty
Chomp
cool.
them. I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't know
What
their
is their
moniker
what is their like motto? Like what is their
I
saying?
don't know. I honestly am not 100%
Should we
sure.
take the next 5 minutes and just create one for them on the show?
We could.
Jacksonville Sharks.
I'm pretty
to
excited
chomp
though.
'em, chomp that ass. Chomp that ass. Chomp that ass.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
It's kind of like
No,
saying
but-
eat that ass, but we're chomping it.
yeah.
Even larger mouth.
I'm excited though. I actually reached out to them to see they had posted another ad on Facebook about internships, and so I reached back out to them, kind of threw my hat back in the ring, and so we'll see where that goes.
Well,
But,
like I've said before, they'd be stupid not to pick you.
Indeed.
Much appreciated.
Indeed, they would be.
Trying to
Well,
stay true to
boys.
that New Year's resolution.
Hey, you gotta shoot your shot, right?
That's right.
Just because there's a goalie doesn't mean you can't score. So we got some sports this week. We got NFL news. We got national championship on Monday for college. Did you guys see the thing that I posted last night that there is a chance that Alabama becomes the national champion?
Listen,
anyways?
Blake, I want you to read. I would like to remind you of something that you wrote in the chat. Quote, winners just win.
Win. And what did we do, baby? What did we
Are
do?
you, wait.
What did we do?
Wait. Are you playing? Is Alabama playing in the national championship?
We don't make the rules.
No.
homie.
Or the
Answer
playoffs.
question.
We
Answer
don't make the
the
rules.
question.
We don't make the rules.
Your
UCF
Honor.
made the rules, not us.
Your Honor, one of you two judges, make him answer the
I
question.
volunteer as tribute.
Make Blake answer the question.
Yeah, make me answer the question, Rick.
Sustain.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Anyway,
Answer the
so
question,
moving on.
Hey, answer the question.
That
Are they
Alabama
playing on
could
Monday?
end the season ranked number 1? Yeah.
Yeah. Guess what? They're not in the championship. You're asking for a participation trophy.
Whoa, well, it is 2023 now, so
Well,
everyone gets one, doesn't they?
I don't know. Does they?
I don't
So you're telling me the Wisconsin Badgers get one?
No, fuck Luke Fickle.
Oh,
That's the case. I think DeVry should also be co-ranked number 1.
Do they even have a football
Same.
team? No, they got
It's
a robotics
2023.
team, I guarantee.
Everybody gets one.
Do you think DeVry robotics team is like Alabama football? Just always up there?
I mean,
Couldn't tell you.
no.
I'm not up to
Probably
the
not.
latest and greatest on the college robot league.
I bet you
Maybe if it
Danny
was
would
like-
know. Danny would know.
Danny would definitely know. If anybody would, it'd be Danny.
I don't know. Ryan's Googling it right now. I can see.
No.
I'm Googling it.
Oh, are you?
I forgot what I was gonna Google. Oops.
Oh, well, big week this week. We got last regular season week, week 18 for the NFL. Playoff implications all across the board, both in fantasy and otherwise. Keith, I would like, on behalf of the show, to go ahead and congratulate you on being champion.
Co-champion?
Co-champion.
Change. We're just gonna call it co-champion.
I would
I
like to
didn't-
congratulate myself for being champion of another league.
Well, you didn't
Didn't
give me
you
an
lose your own
opportunity
league?
to congratulate yourself. I lost my own league too.
I did too. Second place.
Well, so NFL changed some rules today with regarding playoffs and home field advantage.
Yeah.
I don't know if they changed
It's
it or
a
just
doozy.
disregarded their own rules.
I go back and forth, you know. I mean, obviously, you know, I want to start with saying I'm glad that DeMar Hamlin is awake, and I'm glad that he's got no neurological damage and he's communicating. Like that is all fantastic news and great news. I'm glad to hear that. The Let's Talk Sports channel last night did a 7-hour stream to raise money. Dan, the guy that runs Let's Talk Sports, donated $1,000 to the GoFundMe on behalf of the
Nice.
channel and matched
That's
up
awesome.
$3,000. So it was a really good night for us as a channel, as a group. So Dan, we thank you for that. We thank you always for, you know, promoting and allowing us to go on the show. So let's just jump into, because I think that's going to be the meat and the bones of tonight, right? Like the playoff implications for this weekend.
Yeah, there's some big ones. My team definitely is right in the thick of that.
I don't even know like where to start with it. It's such a like exciting week.
It really is.
You know what I mean? Like
this, I can't think of the last time. Like obviously, it'd be week 17, but this because this is the first year of 18 games.
right.
But when's the last time we've had a week 17 with this much potential?
This is week 8.
Oh
So-
yeah, with
so-
so
right,
I mean,
right.
usually
wondering
you have like
about that.
one or two, you know, that means something. But yeah, no, to your point,
It's almost
I
like
cannot-
almost every game
Every
has
game matters,
playoff
right?
Yeah.
you know, potential.
I don't even have the schedule up. That's how prepared I am for the show tonight. I apologize.
No,
And,
but I
well,
wonder
Keith
if
and I
it's
are
two-
kind of
cause.
arch rivals this week.
Oh yeah.
Keith and I
Who?
are kind of arch rivals this week because
Yeah.
the Detroit Lions, for me, have to beat the Green Bay Packers, and we have to beat the Rams, which I
Mhm.
no doubt we will.
Yeah.
But then on
Those-
the flip side of that,
Those are the
obviously,
two big
like
games.
Keith just has to
Good.
win.
Yeah,
he
we
just has
just have
to
to
beat
win.
the Lions,
He
and
won't.
so I am
Yeah.
hardcore rooting for
Yeah,
the
we
Lions.
won't. Just keep saying it. Just keep saying it. I love
So
it when you say it.
and we were talking, or not we, they were talking earlier on an NFC Roundtable I was watching on the Let's Talk Sports channel. They were saying, do you think it gives the Packers an advantage playing the late game, knowing the Seattle outcome? And I was like, well, no, not really for Green Bay, but I would think that would definitely give Detroit a little extra motivation, a little extra chip going in on their shoulder, knowing the result of the Seattle game, right?
Right.
But you know
Detroit's
what?
got
I
something to
will
play for
say-
no matter what.
I was going to
But
say,
if not, if
I think
Seattle
even
wins.
well,
I mean,
no,
well,
so maybe they may not
go ahead.
have a playoff spot to earn. But you know, one thing I will say about Detroit is, man, like they, you know, kind of much like Seattle this year, you know, with the whole Geno Smith story. I don't even have to go down that path, but
Right.
with Detroit, they kind of surprised everybody as well. You know,
Mhm.
they in their own right exploded this year. I don't know where they stand now, but I know that at least at one point in time this season, they were the highest scoring offense. Like they were the number one ranked
It was
offense
the most efficient
in the league.
offense of all time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
Well, you got to
that
think they
even
started the
if-
season 1-6.
right. And I think even if, you know, Seattle ends up winning and they don't have, you know, a shot in the playoffs, I think that if nothing else, this is one of those games. It's a division game, right? They have the opportunity, whether Seattle wins or loses, they have the opportunity to go into the offseason with some serious highs, you know, being able to knock Aaron Rodgers out of the playoffs, you know, kind of ending on a crazy high note, you know, considering how far they've come this season compared to the past several seasons, even if they don't make the playoffs.
Agreed. And yeah,
The
to
Lions
your
are-
credit, they're playing for something regardless, right? Because they can
Yeah.
play spoiler.
Right.
But my thought process, like I said, was if Detroit goes into that game knowing Seattle already lost, does that give them a little extra
Oh,
juice
certainly.
in the
Yeah, I
tank?
Yeah.
Because now there's a chance for them. There's a path because now they control their own destiny as well, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So what what happens if Seattle wins and Green Bay wins.
Green Bay's
Green
in.
Bay gets in.
Okay. So what happens if
All Green Bay.
Seattle wins and Detroit wins?
Seattle's in.
Seattle
Seattle's
gets
in.
For
Are
yeah,
the
that's
Packers in too?
No.
And the
no.
Lions aren't either.
No, so
Correct.
if Seattle, so for Detroit to get in, they have to beat Green Bay, and Seattle has to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of same thing in reverse for Seattle. They have to beat the Rams, and Green Bay has to lose.
Yeah.
So the Seahawks are definitely rooting for the Lions, but the Lions are definitely not rooting for the Seahawks.
Gotcha.
But
What a
Seattle
weird
has to handle their business first.
Right.
Well, they're
Which
playing a
I
dog
have
shit
no
Rams
doubt they
team,
will.
so.
I have no doubt they will. They're playing
Now-
a shell of a Rams team.
Let me ask this question. I guess this would probably be the Packers, but if Seattle lost, right, and Detroit and Green Bay tied,
If so, that would give the Seahawks one more win than both teams.
Yeah, so I think that they would get in.
They
in
would
that
be
regard.
they would be
yeah.
9-8. They would be 9-8, and both
you
Detroit
guys
and Green
would
Bay
be
would be
8-1.
8-1.
Yeah. So I
yeah,
think
that's
in that scenario,
I think
they would get in.
So really, Rick, you don't need to pull for the Lions. You just got to pull for a tie.
But you should
I-
pull for the Lions anyways.
Yeah.
I'm pulling for the Lions just because like I love like kind of what they done. I'm excited to see what they do like whenever they finally move on from Jared Goff. Like if they can do that well
He's
with
been
Jared Goff, we're like,
pretty
don't hear what I'm
He's
not
good
saying.
though,
Like
man.
he's not a bad quarterback,
but
but
he's still got a ceiling.
right, he has a very low ceiling. Like imagine, if they go out and get even a marginal upgrade at quarterback, I think that the sky is the limit for them.
they currently
that
have a
could be.
top 10 pick, don't they?
Yes.
With
They got
Rams,
the
from the
Rams.
Rams.
I think it goes
Yeah.
Houston, Chicago,
think they have
technically
8
Seattle.
or 9.
I
Because
thought
of
Seattle was
Denver.
at number 3.
Yeah, right now it's
Yeah, that's what I'm
Houston,
saying.
Chicago, Seattle,
Seattle.
from Denver,
Right.
Arizona, Indianapolis, and then Detroit at 6, and that's their Rams pick.
Oh damn!
It's wild that Miami forfeited their pick they had to forfeit their first round pick this year.
Yeah, it is.
Why'd they have to? Why is that? I missed that.
The Tom Brady stuff.
Tampering.
The Tom
Brady
Brady
scandal.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of Miami, have you seen those reports that Mike McDaniels may get fired if they lose to the Jets on Sunday?
I did.
Do you think there's any smoke behind that?
No.
I agree with you. There's no way. There's no way. What
I mean, there's false smoke.
Yep, I
And
agree
it
with you.
says
I'm
Detroit
looking
playing
for
late
stream.
gives them the advantage of knowing how hard to play their game and maybe save up their players depending on how the other game goes.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
say saving
Yeah.
up the players.
No,
right?
I
'Cause
don't
you still
think
got to win that game.
I
that's
still
think
gotta
a
that
win.
Dan
regardless,
Campbell thing. I don't think
I-
that's a Dan Campbell thing. I think that
No.
these dudes could be 17-0, 16-0 going into this week, and they'd still start all of their starters.
yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
I think that regardless, and especially given how well they've done comparatively, the past several seasons, and they have a chance to single-handedly ruin a division rival's playoff chances. I'm not sure that I agree. I mean, maybe they don't have as much hype if Seattle wins, like going into that game, but certainly if Seattle loses, they're going to be balls to the wall. They're going to pull out all the stops to try to get in.
Now, let's say that happens. What if, you can go too aggressive? If they go too aggressive and lose the game that way, do you think that's a ending on a positive note for that team?
Yes, I would rather lose aggressively every single time.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And considering you weren't supposed to be where you're at anyway,
Exactly.
you're supposed to be hanging
Right.
out with Chicago in the bottom. No offense.
According
Fuck
to
you.
the media.
No
Hey,
offense.
I mean, he's right.
No
though.
offense. You were supposed to be hanging. You two were both supposed to be at the bottom
Mhm.
beginning of the year.
And then Houston.
Detroit's not supposed to be where they're at. and they are.
Right.
No.
Yeah, I think Detroit, as long as, honestly, at this point, unless you just get the brakes beat off of you this weekend,
Right.
I think any sort of outcome of that game is a win.
Yeah, I agree.
I've seen quite a few Sunday night games from old Aaron Rodgers, and this is a Sunday night game
In Lambeau.
in Lambeau.
In January.
And
They are playing for it. You know what I mean? Like this is the peak.
But what I will say, it seems to me like they're taking the ball out of Rodgers' hands a little bit more and relying on their running backs, which, I mean, hey, especially this time of the year in Lambeau, when you've got, basically a cinder block made of ice in the form of A.J. Dillon, not a terrible tactic to deploy. So I don't know if it's, more, on the running game, less of Aaron Rodgers or what, but no, to your point, Ryan, like he's that dude. We've seen him ball out this time of the year. He's getting hot at the absolute last minute, but to his credit, he's doing it. He's doing it when it counts.
Solstice in the fact of knowing that if they
we're
win
gonna lose
Sunday,
to the 49ers in the playoffs.
That you gotta play the Niners next week.
Maybe. You don't know who we're playing.
What if the Packers actually do that and they beat the Niners in the playoffs? Do you think Rodgers evaporates? Like he's finally completed his life's mission and he just
Thank you for releasing me.
I have been released.
What if even
ayahuasca?
Funnier, what if a giant Pokeball comes in, opens and Pokeballs him?
Come back.
Roger Goodell's got him.
You hear the arms of an angel playing in the background as you just
For $5 a month, even you can support an Aaron Rodgers fund. Oh man,
it's too funny.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting. Now, what I think will be interesting, and they were talking about this on that show I was watching earlier, is if Seattle does get in, right? If Lions win, Seattle wins, so Seattle gets in. It is extremely hard, and they end up playing the Niners in the first round. It is extremely hard to beat a conference opponent 3 times in a row. So
and a division opponent nonetheless.
A division opponent. So luckily they will have Debo back this weekend, I believe. So they'll get miles on him, or
I'm not
get his legs back under him.
I'm not a fan of that as a Seattle fan.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they're playing Arizona, so they don't need Debo. They don't need Debo, but
they can start Nathan Peterman. I wonder. Oh wait, he is starting this Sunday.
We are. Yeah, we're doing that.
I would have much rather Eberflus was like, "Hey, look, we're gonna let Justin go out there. He's gonna run 5 plays. They're all gonna be fucking rushes. We're gonna get him 65 yards, then he's done."
Well, now you're gonna get 69 with the Peter Goat.
Hell yeah.
But we need 65 for the all-time record.
I know. Yeah, that is kind of shitty. But I don't know. That poor guy. He's just been beaten to shit this whole year.
Yeah, it is exciting though because I do get it. Maybe next year or the year after that, but he will get some more weapons around him.
Yeah,
where it's not you can not do the Detroit thing and drop fucking 10 back into coverage and one person on the defensive line.
Their leading receiver. Chicago's leading receiver right now is Darnell Mooney, who has I was looking at this or listening to something this morning talking about how their leading receiver is Darnell Mooney, who has just north of 400 yards, and he hasn't played since week 11. And he is their leading receiver.
That's what
Get that man some help.
Yeah,
and that line is terrible. That their O line is terrible.
Terrible. They were when they were all healthy and it was clicking. Yes. They were doing very good.
Yeah, I agree with
plenty of those games that we did not lose by a lot.
Yeah,
didn't your center get hurt?
Yeah, our center. Yeah,
and that kind of disintegrated everything.
Yeah. 'cause
Was
then
that
we had to
against the
start-
Packers?
Yeah, I think so.
He
then we
started
had
the
to
season
start
hurt and then got healthy.
Sam
and then got hurt
Mustafer again, who's just a human turnstile, and who
Has he
blocked
blocked
me
you?
on Twitter.
Did he block you on Twitter
Yeah,
finally?
he did. He blocked me on Twitter.
I got blocked by Ben Bryant from Cincinnati.
nice.
Yeah. I'm
I've been
surprised you could
blocked
find the
by.
block button and didn't miss it.
I
guess
got
we're
blocked
super
by Kurt Schilling.
Nice. What'd you say
Yeah.
to Kurt that got you blocked?
Oh, he's a real big piece of shit. I said a lot of things. And I got blocked by a sports writer in Peoria, Illinois, Nick Vlahos.
Nice.
I got randomly blocked a few years ago by Chris Cyborg. You know
Mhm.
you know who that is?
The UFC guy?
It's funny you say that. It's actually a woman. She was, she was like a She-Hulk. She doesn't fight for UFC anymore. She fights for Bellator. But my buddy was messaging me something about one of the fights. Leading. There was like some crazy hype video on her Instagram or whatever. And I go to look her up, and I'm like, she must have. Yeah, she doesn't have an Instagram. Whatever. Yes, she does. Look, here's a screenshot. And I was still doing like a solo podcast at the time that really didn't end up going anywhere. I didn't end up doing anything with it. So I switched over to that account and looked it up, and sure enough, there's her account. I randomly got blocked by Chris Cyborg, never commented on any of her pictures, never even liked any of her pictures, never
That's
sent her a
hilarious.
message, nothing.
That's why
I
you
just
got blocked.
I guess so.
I can't
guess so.
stand seeing this man on the timeline anymore.
And I've even met Chris Cyborg, super sweet lady. This is
That's
after
why
she
you
blocked
got
me.
That's
blocked.
why you got
No.
blocked.
This was after she blocked me.
Oh,
I
Did
met
you
her
tell her?
at like a military appreciation. No, I didn't. I took a picture with her, shook her hand and stuff. Her hand has like a 6-pack.
I would have been like, take a
That
picture
chick
with me.
is
I'll post this on
jacked.
Instagram. Why can't I tag you?
Yeah, I mean, heat of the moment.
What about you, Keith? Who's blocked you on Twitter? Jay
Nobody.
Cutler?
No, nobody.
Nobody's
I'm a
blocked
nice
you on
guy.
Twitter?
I'm a nice guy.
Those are rookie numbers.
Yeah,
yeah,
all
get
right.
them
I'm a
numbers
nice
up.
guy.
Everybody see that handle down there, K Carver84?
Just block me.
him. Block him.
Let's talk some. 'Cause I am chomping at the bit. I don't want to. I do not want to skip the AFC.
Yeah.
but I'm chomping.
yeah.
at the
That's
bit to
so
talk about this
difficult.
XFL schedule.
Yeah, so let's get
AFC 's
into
so
let's go
difficult.
into AFC stuff. Ryan, do you have it pulled up? Hey, can you share your screen?
For what?
The
AFC
changes?
playoffs.
Oh, the changes?
Yeah, what they passed today.
Let me get it pulled up. You guys can talk while I'm pulling it up.
No, we're
I'm just gonna sit here and watch you.
silence.
And watch you.
What you got going on over
The
there?
fuck is Keith or
What are you doing?
Rick doing?
It's supposed to be a heartbeat, my guy.
We're now on
One
ASMR.
desire.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
This summer.
NFL owners have
Is there a way to
approved
zoom
the
in a little
plan.
bit there? How do we?
I don't know, man. This is your thing. What you trying me
Zoom.
to do?
For
Make
those
it
of
bigger
you
so we can
watching,
read
if
it.
you have a touch screen, you can just simply zoom in. There you go.
That's what I just did. I don't know if you saw my fingers do that.
Yeah, all right, that's all I
Anyways,
Uh,
in the wake of the cancellation of Monday's Bills-Bengals games, the following scenarios based on Week 18 results were approved for holding the title game at a neutral site. And here we go. If Buffalo and Kansas City both win or tie, a Bills-Chiefs championship game would be at a neutral site. If Buffalo and Kansas City both lose and Baltimore wins or ties, a Bills-Chiefs championship game would be at a neutral site. Which still doesn't make sense to me. If Buffalo and Kansas City both lose and Cincinnati wins, a Bills or Bengals versus Chiefs championship game would be at a neutral site. There's just not giving any other team.
But tell me what happens when Baltimore beats Cincinnati. Because Blake wants to get into that.
fuck yeah, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
I
If
don't know what happened.
Buffalo
I don't
beats
know.
Cincinnati
And they
They would
win a
have a-
coin flip.
and they win a coin
What's-
flip.
I
Neutral
missed
site.
that. What's the deal with the coin flip?
It's for because they would play first round of the playoffs, right?
Yes.
So it would be they crowned the Bengals AFC North champions.
Okay.
So they should,
Officially.
in theory, host that game.
Mm-hmm.
But if they lose this tomorrow or on Sunday, to the Ravens, they go to a coin flip. Winner of the coin flip hosts the game.
Oh.
Isn't it neutral if the Ravens win?
No, I thought it was the home
No.
game for the Ravens. I thought it was whoever won the coin flip. It was at their stadium. I could be wrong.
Check.
I could be wrong. Go fact check.
You're gonna make me fact check you.
I saw. Well, okay. Maybe it's
Damn
the
fact
maybe the
checkers.
Chargers have to win too for the
I know.
Ravens to host the game. Go to
I think that the
the
neutral
Ravens
site-
Twitter posted something. Hold on.
I think that the neutral site should be like a defunct NFL stadium.
I'm saying Lambeau. Just make it happen.
Yeah, at a defunct NFL stadium.
Fuck you. I walked into that.
You did.
Yeah,
No,
you
they got to
did.
go across the border and play at the Montreal Alouettes Stadium
Yeah, there you go.
or the Regina.
Better yet, Cashman Field, 9,000 seating capacity stadium of the Vegas Vipers. We'll get into that here in a little bit.
Where
It's a
did
perfect
this tweet
site
go?
for an AFC championship game.
Okay,
That's what
so
all right, go ahead.
I found it. The Ravens will host the playoff game if they win the game, and the Chargers win the game, and they win the coin toss. They will host the home playoff game.
So they need to win a coin toss from the
a
Chargers
lot.
and them to win.
Yes.
There's so much.
I mean, just
I'm gonna
I
laugh
don't
when
think
it's
they'll win.
none of those teams. Like when it's none of those
You know
teams
who's
that
ma-
have been mentioned.
You know who's making the playoffs, right?
The Jags,
It's
maybe.
the Steelers. They're already in the
Yes,
playoffs.
sir. We're actually going
They're
to
in
be
the
at
playoffs.
that game tomorrow night.
It's somehow going to be the Steelers.
Yeah, that would be. You know, Steelers
Just 'cause
fans
Mike
bitch about
Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin. Has that dude ever had? He's never had a losing season.
Never had a losing season.
Never.
He's only played one. He's only coached one game his entire career where he was
they weren't in
eliminated from the
playoffs.
playoffs.
That's fucking insane.
I didn't
Yeah.
even realize that they're still in the hunt in the AFC. That's
Yeah, they're-
fucking nuts.
They're still there.
Yeah.
It's a long shot, but they're still there.
Tomlin is that dude. I don't think he gets nearly the clout, that the Andy Reeds of the world, and guys like that,
He
but
is Hall of Fame coach through and through.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
He made Kenny
Absolutely.
Pickett look good last week.
How many?
Beats the
Did you
cream
see
of the
that
crop.
throw he made?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we
You
gone
see
on
why
the
he
show
was
though
the
and we were
pick
like,
he
"Oh, the
was."
Steelers are playing who this week?" And we're like, "We don't give a fuck. No one cares about this game." But here we are going to Week 18. The Steelers
Dude.
are in the playoffs.
Quietly.
Yeah.
Just in the background. 8-8.
Yeah.
Insane. Well, let's
I
call
will
some,
say-
call some
Who,
games.
The Browns? They're playing the Browns this week?
Do you see?
Hey, go
Clowney?
Brownies! They got it. They helped us. Go Brownies.
You hear about Clowney?
Yeah.
Oh
did.
yeah, he got sent home. So Clowney got sent home because he talked shit on the Browns at some interview.
No.
On like
No, he said he's 95%
He said he's
sure
95% sure
he's
he's not returning
Right.
when they sent him home.
after he like shit all over them. Like basically he was saying that that Myles Garrett was purposefulully being given more like the easier matchups against whatever tackle on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah. I
It's
just
like, well,
saw
no
that.
shit. Like, of course you're going to give your best guy. You're going to put him against their weak link. To try to sack the quarterback.
Right.
And so they were like, oh no, like he's getting preferential treatment. Like they're just trying to gas him up and get him into the Hall of Fame. And they're giving me all the shitty matchups. So how about suck less? You had 2 sacks this year.
Stop,
He said
No, I will not stop.
damn dogs.
Clowney added that the Browns have, quote, got their own guys, and I ain't one of them, so it's time for me to get my exit slip.
Yep.
No, he got it much faster than he thought he was going to get it, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like I will say this, for all the crap that people talk about Clowney, myself included, one thing I will say about him is, kind of a common knock against him, dating all the way back to when he was still in Houston, was they would trash the fact that, former number 1 overall pick, but they would trash like his low, quote unquote, low sack totals.
Right.
But even back then, what I could say like about the guy is, while he didn't have the numbers, for sacks and whatnot, he was like leading the league in tackles for loss. And if he didn't get the sack, he was disruptive as hell, on so many plays when he was there in Houston, So I, for all the crap that I give him, I will say that I'm maybe, for the most part, not as harsh on him as, some other people who are a bit more critical of him than I am.
Right.
But no, I mean, I get it. Like, and he's had a rough year. The guy, this is a career low. He's had 2 sacks all year. I think he had 9 last year.
Mhm.
But Myles Garrett is, an elite player. He's their
Isn't he?
best.
He's the one that slapped the shit out of Mason Rudolph with the helmet, right?
Yeah, I was
that
going to
was
talk
fantastic.
about that. I was going to
But
talk
that
about
aside,
that.
he
That
is-
is fantastic scheduling by the league, by the way.
He is
That's your
like,
last game.
I know, that's great. But no, he is, I think, their singular best player on that team. Period.
Yeah, he's
You
the
could maybe
face
make
of
an
the
argument
franchise.
for Nick Chubb, but I think pound for pound, when it's all said and done, I think that he is the best player on that team, regardless of position.
Are you talking about Garrett?
Garrett,
Garrett, yeah.
Oh, hands down. That dude has earned his
So of course,
first
like,
round,
why
first
wouldn't
pick
you put?
status.
Why wouldn't you put? And I'm not a coach, but just process of elimination here. I'm doing my scouting and whatnot, and this guy, the left tackle, is the weak link. Of course, I'm going to put Myles Garrett on him all day.
Scrapman's back. Okay, so let me ask you this though, because that's interesting. I hear what you're saying as a coach, but we hear all day long from DBs and wide receivers and everything. I want their best. I want their best. I want their best. I want their best. Right?
Well, certainly, yeah. I mean, I guess that's true, but at the same time, also we hear all the time from players like, all we care about is winning. Well, to me, that seems like a surefire way to inch in that direction.
Maybe that's the
And
coach
that-
and athlete difference.
And I don't know that I agree with Clowney, because Myles Garrett, I looked this up earlier as well. He's also been double teamed more than anybody else in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So is he really getting, the quote unquote easier matchups? Is he really getting preferential treatment in that regard?
He's taking 2 dudes on at the same time. He's freeing up more room for you.
Sounds
to
like
get
Danny's
to your
Friday
guy.
nights.
Hey,
right.
That's
Hashtag
why he's
no,
not
but-
here.
like Clowney should have more sack numbers or should have better numbers instead of just, I don't know.
Like, he is the singular most double teamed defender in the league.
Yeah.
So
Again, with good reason.
oh yeah, certainly. He is a monster. He is an absolute monster.
So let's call some games. I want to get into XFL and Royal Rumble stuff before we get out of here tonight, and we're already 35 minutes into this.
I got a thing I want to get into too.
Oh, do you?
Is it your wife?
I guess not right now.
But after the show, maybe.
No, not tonight. I'm way too high.
Oh, nice. All right, so we'll call both Saturday games because there's only 2. Chiefs at Raiders.
Chiefs.
Well,
Chiefs.
I don't know. Like,
Stidham look good, dude.
Yeah.
Against the best defense in the NFL.
Chiefs have clinched their way into the playoffs.
Yeah, like,
do they rest?
Are they playing
Yeah.
for 1 though?
That was going to be my only other thing.
They are 1 currently, and they're
But
a
so
game up.
if they lose and Buffalo wins, what happens?
Dude, I have no idea.
Or Cincinnati, for that matter, right?
So,
I don't think
Cincinnati's
Cincy can
got
get the
1
one.
less. Cincy can't get the 1. They had to
Oh, okay.
win
Right.
against Buffalo because they got 1 less win
Gotcha.
than Buffalo.
Then that would be weird because then it would mean there'd be it wouldn't go by It'd go by winning percentage. And it would be less like a half a game or something like that, which would be
Interesting.
weird.
Yeah.
Because if the Chiefs lose that game,
But I don't
and
know
there's
who
a chance
has
of
the
them losing
tiebreaker.
one, there's no way the Chiefs are going to pull anybody out of that game unless they're up by 100.
Well,
So Buffalo gets the 1 seed if they beat New England and the Chiefs lose.
Yeah, so Chiefs are playing for 1.
Chiefs. Where are they playing? Are they playing in Kansas? Not that this matters. Are they
In
playing
Vegas.
in Kansas or yeah? Either way, I'd still say Chiefs. If they're
yeah.
playing, especially if they're playing for the 1, Chiefs.
Give me the chefs.
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Yeah. If they win, they get the 1.
Yep. Which will be interesting. It'll be interesting. All right, Titans at Jaguars. Rick will be at this game.
Hell yeah,
Yes, sir. I
that's
sure
Just
will.
know if we
And-
are watching this game and the commentators go, and there's a naked man running across the field, it is probably not Rick.
Wink.
So who do I say is going to win? Oh,
Yad
I
Max.
say,
Yeah, nuts.
Zaj. Zaj is going to win the game.
winner of this game wins the division, yes? Or did the Jaguars already win the division?
Si, senor.
This determines the AFC South title. And I've got the Jags. I think it's going to be that place is going to be nuts. I've only spent it'll be a year here in a few weeks that I've lived down here in Jacksonville. I've got to give Jacksonville sports fans their flowers, man. It may not be a marquee sports market down here, but I'll be damned if they're not a scrappy bunch down here. It was a very, very pleasant surprise, and I have absolutely no doubt that TIAA Bank Field is going to be rocking. It's going to be absolutely rocking. That place is going to be nuts. I got the Jags hands down in this one. I mean, I think that the Titans are starting Joshua Dobbs again.
Yeah.
Who played good against the Cowboys, but then again, who doesn't these days?
Touche.
But yeah, no, I don't. The Jags have been on a roll. They've been playing phenomenal lately. I've got to say I've been pleasantly surprised with Doug Peterson. I really wasn't sure how I felt about that hire
turnaround, right?
at the beginning of the year, but I'll be damned. I mean, I think they have got nowhere to go but up. They're a young team with a ton of talent. They're finally starting to come of age.
Yeah.
I think that it would not surprise me next year if the Jags are a team that starts to make a lot of noise.
What a turnaround, right? Like last year, week 17, we saw Jags fans lining up at the stadium with fucking clown masks on.
Oh yeah, like I said,
right. And this year they're playing essentially in 2 home playoff games. If you want to look at it,
yeah,
right. Because this weekend's essentially a playoff game, win or go home.
Well, that's right. You guys, you have Calvin Ridley next year.
Yep. And you do have Calvin Ridley next year.
Yep. And they've still got. I mean, Christian Kirk, another surprise. He's been awesome. Zay Jones, another surprise. He's been awesome.
Yeah, big surprise there.
Evan Ingram just had a career year.
Yeah. I mean, I think Doug Peterson has got to be a top candidate for Coach of the Year. I do.
I think if they make the playoffs or win the South, and then maybe a playoff game, that I think that cements it for them.
Yeah. All right. So
sorry.
What's up?
You're good. The last thing I'll add, I was just going to say to the Coach of the Year thing. I think I have him and Brian Dable right here. Kind of 1A, 1B in that regard.
What about
Pete
you, Keith?
Carroll
Who you got
too,
here?
but-
Jags or Titans?
I got Jags just because it's at home, and I don't trust what Tennessee's been doing lately.
Oh.
They've been playing like crap. I don't think resting their starters last week helped.
They will have Derrick Henry back though.
Yeah, I'm taking the Jags, and I'm taking anything. I'm putting all the positive energy out there for this playoffs for Detroit to get in, because then that will keep the dream alive of a Detroit-Jacksonville Super Bowl.
Wouldn't that be
For at
crazy?
least one more week.
And I feel like it's hard to dislike either of those teams right now.
Agreed.
The
Agreed.
Jags
I don't
and
even
the
dislike
Lions.
the Lions that much, and they just dropped fucking 35 points on us or some shit. 41.
41.
I'm sorry, but fuck all the Cowboys fans like America's team. No, like I feel like the Jags and Lions are kind of low-key America's teams right now.
Yep.
You have the NFC and the AFC.
Yeah. So I think it's
remember when people were rooting for the Browns? Everybody was rooting for the Browns like 4 years ago.
Long, did it?
That didn't
lasted like 6 months.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into some Sunday games before we get into XFL stuff. We'll just call a couple of them. Speaking of Browns, we'll call Browns Steelers.
Oh, gross.
Steelers.
I'm taking the Steelers.
Steelers. Wow, boys, we're unanimous on everything tonight. Which means we're all going to look like jackasses on Saturday and Sunday. Sweet.
I look like a jackass.
Scrapman says he totally agrees with us. I'm assuming about
like
the
jackasses.
No, about the I think he's referring to the Lions and the Jaguars.
Yeah. All right, so don't give a shit. How about this? This will be interesting. Texans and Colts.
Gross. I'm going to say Colts because I think Jeff Saturday is kind of playing for his job, and the Texans are trying to keep the number 1 overall pick.
I don't know.
I think it's honestly I think it's Texans.
Who's starting the quarterback?
Shit show.
I mean, but so are the Texans.
Like I don't want to. Like I want the Texans to win so bad.
So bad.
But like, are they gonna really do it against the Colts?
I mean, Jets did it with T-Law.
They've got. You mean the Jags did it with T-Law?
No, the Jets won their game and gave up the first overall pick when T-Law got drafted.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
That's what I meant.
Zach Wilson.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I mean, the Texans they've got 2 guys like splitting snaps at quarterback, both of which are terrible, by the way.
How dare you say that about Davis Bills?
Yeah, poor Jeff Driscoll. I don't know, and I don't know like who's starting for Indy that game. Because Nick Foles is hurt. Nick Foles
probably Ellinger.
What's Matt Ryan's status right now?
He was a healthy scratch last week, but
I think let's see.
Do you see Thibodeau do a fucking snow angel as a celebration next to dead Nick Foles?
Yeah, and then he did the damn.
He didn't know he was hurt. I was hitting, but I didn't know he was hurt.
It's so
then
funny.
The
regardless
came out
if he
and said,
knew
like,
or didn't know, it's still so funny.
Then he came out later after Jeff Saturday was like pretty much just admonished that whole celebration and whatnot. He said he didn't know who Jeff Saturday was, so he wasn't giving it any energy.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that's savage.
That's funny. All right, last one that we will call as a show, and then we'll go locks.
By the way, it looks like it's going to be Sam Ellinger.
Good.
For the Colts.
I mean, you got to see what you got on the guy, right? Like,
yeah. The ESPN.com matchup predictor, 76.3% Houston's favor. Just don't give me hope.
Go Houston. Boys on the Let's Talk Texans podcast that Ryan jumped on. We're pulling for you. Go Texans.
Let's go.
Go Texans. All right, last one for the show. Ravens at Bengals.
Bengals.
I want to say Bengals, but at the same time, like, does their playoffs? I mean, other than just potential where they play next week, do they have anything else like seeding wise to play for?
Like they can get the 2 seed. It's going to take like a lot. I don't know the exact scenario, but
I think how can they get the 2 seed? Because they can't pass Buffalo in wins. They would tie Buffalo in wins. So then
There
what's
was
the
some-
tiebreaker there?
If I could type, I'll let you know.
Thank you. I'm
You
going
guys can talk when I
Ravens.
look.
Give me the Ravens.
Okay,
Go,
the
Birds, go.
Taking the
The
Bengals.
Bengals will finish at the number 2 seed with a win versus the Ravens, plus the Bills' loss to the Patriots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, give me the Bengals.
Everything in me wants to say Ravens because the Bengals fans piss me off.
Yeah, they do. Fucking crybabies.
But the Ravens are starting like a third string quarterback, and I don't even know who's starting there. So I gotta go Bengals.
Nope. Go
Mhm.
Ravens. Go Talons.
I mean-
I will be separate from the show tonight.
I want the Ravens to win. I don't think they're going to win with a third string quarterback against the Bengals.
You know what's some bullshit?
What's that?
This whole time I've been trying to find flights from here to Jacksonville, Florida. Because I was going to go, you know what? I don't have anything to do this weekend. I'm going to fly down and go to the fucking Jaguars game.
Dude,
That
we
sounds
could have
like
hung
so
out.
much fun. They're all like they don't have direct flights from St. Louis to there.
No.
Do they have
do
them from
not.
Peoria?
No.
Bloomington?
Chicago probably the closest. Or
Yeah,
Indy.
it's probably Chicago or Indy.
Hmm.
Anyways, sorry, that's wild. I was just trying to think. I was like, man, that'd be so much fun.
We could have hung out.
Cheap flight.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. All right, let's go XFL schedule stuff, Rick.
Yes, sir. So I don't know if you had a chance to check out the Battlehawks schedule.
Mhm.
You know, we are St. Louis Battlehawks fans, Blake and I.
Ryan too.
But
By proxy,
And Ryan, too.
because I am only 2 hours away from the city.
Keith is a
Yes,
Vipers
sir.
fan.
oh, gross.
I do not poop standing up. I'm a Brahma.
That's not
I'm a
true.
Brahma fan.
His house
In the
has
words-
no toilets.
In the words
They're
of
all
Danny,
stand-up
cannot
poop
confirm nor deny.
urinals.
Cannot
Ryan,
confirm nor
we're-
deny. I love it.
No, but for the Battlehawks, it's interesting. I think that the XFL was actually pretty smart. Bold with their week 1 game. They have kind of the current crown jewel fan base,
Yes.
you know, St. Louis, going up against what I think could be the one city that could push them for that more so than Seattle. They're playing at San Antonio against the San Antonio Brahmas. You know, I've already talked ad nauseum about how just absolutely nuts the San Antonio football fan base is. I'm not going to sit here and go through the whole spiel about, you know, when they had the Saints there, when they had the Commanders there with the AAF. They are a damn good, criminally underrated sports market and football market. So I think that was really smart. I think that the TV ratings for that game, that's going to be the marquee game for week 1. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So we'll see what happens there. And then they follow it up. The Battlehawks take on what was the other really, really strong fan base. I think that, you know, I would call like the runner-up fan base as far as, you know, following and whatnot. But the Seattle Sea Dragons in Seattle in week 2. And then this, I didn't actually realize it. Never mind. I read this wrong. Week 3, they travel to DC to go against our former quarterback, Jordan Teamu, and the DC Defenders on the road in DC.
They start out their first 3 games on the road.
On the road.
Their first 3 games. They don't get a home game until week 4 against the Arlington Renegades. And
I would prefer that, though.
Well, and here's where it gets interesting. So then I'm not going to go through the whole schedule, but it's interesting right after that. So they play Jordan Teamu in week 3, get their first home game in week 4, and then week 5 they get another home game in a rematch against Jordan Teamu. So that ought to be interesting. But what's cool about it?
That's a Sunday. Do you want to go?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What day was that?
It's on us. Huh?
What day was it?
I'll be at every home game.
Sunday the 12th of March.
Okay, I was
No
making sure it wasn't.
promises.
We should go.
No promises, but if I can get the time off, I'm going to try to be there for at least one game this year.
Oh, hell yeah.
I was honestly, I just Googled flights to San Antonio. I can get there for under $300.
Dang. Anyway, but you know, so as rough as it is, you know, them being on the road the first 3 weeks, their last 3 games, kind of in reverse, their last 3 games, when it's getting, playoff contention time, their last 3 games are at home against the Vipers, Sea Dragons, and Guardians, with a trip to, I've already gone over the schedule at this point. So right after they play in a rematch against the
don't
DC
want to go over the whole
Defenders,
schedule, but here we are.
After week 5 against the DC Defenders, then they travel to Cashman Stadium. This is kind of another thing I want to talk about XFL wise. The Vegas Vipers have finally found their new home in Las Vegas at Cashman Stadium, which is a soccer stadium with a normal, as far as fixed seating is concerned, just north of 9,000. I want to say it's like 9,300 some odd seats, with the ability to be elevated to, I think, just north of 12,000 with temporary seating and standing room.
What a joke.
But that is going to be
a XFL stadium.
That's worse than when the Bears played in Champaign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there were seats all the way around.
You look at literally every other XFL stadium. I mean, the Dome in St. Louis has a 66,000 capacity crowd, or seating capacity. Seattle, they're playing at Lumen Field where the Seahawks play, which is, I'm sure, north of 70,000 seats available. The Alamo Dome, which I know has 60,000 plus seats available. Even where the Arlington Renegades play at what is now known as Choctaw Stadium, used to be Globe Life Field, where the former home of the Texas Rangers, which have obviously since converted into a football field. That has a hell of a lot more seating capacity than Cashman Field.
Is that a baseball stadium? What is that?
That is Cashman Field.
Yeah.
It looks like a baseball diamond.
It kind of does, yeah.
Like a high school baseball diamond.
Soccer stadium, But that is what a professional team is going to play in. Yeah, it's Cashman Field.
Did they sign? Do you know, Rick? Did they sign a long contract?
That I do not.
Like, was it a 2-year deal with them, or is this a 1-year deal?
You know what? That's a great question. Let me
because that obviously that can't be long-term plans in Vegas.
No.
Right? Like.
Yeah, you'd have to imagine. No.
So from the XFL newsroom, all it says is that Cashman Field will serve as the Vipers' home field for 2023.
So
it's probably a 1-year deal.
So I can envision them like building temporary, bleachers out here, and because it looks like there is room or potential for room. I would have to imagine they would have to do something like that.
Hope so.
Yeah. I mean, and shit, you've got the Allegiant Stadium there. Could they not strike some type of a deal with them? I mean, shit, they were able to get Lumen Field in Seattle.
Working on as a long term. If maybe they're working on a long term deal with Allegiant.
Yeah.
Or the Raiders,
but
or
nevertheless,
whoever owns that actual stadium. I don't know.
It should be a lot of fun.
Where's Orlando playing?
Camping World Stadium.
Oh, you're right. Yep.
It's a good stadium too. It's a really nice stadium.
Yeah.
So
I think I'm gonna reach out to that San Antonio fan and see if we can't get him on the show the Friday before that Week 1 game.
That'll be funny.
You know what I'm talking about?
I've got to say the war. Wah! And I get what he was trying to do.
Yeah,
he's trying to do like and I hope I'm not butchering this too much, but kind of the like mariachi. He had like a mariachi type suit on, and like a yay 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 type thing, but it sounded more like when like I thought of like a Bruce Lee movie when he's like going whoa, but just like drawing it out whoa, with just some like Mexican music, like mariachi music in the background.
Yeah. I was like, where's he going?
It was hilarious. But you know what? I love that
topic of conversation. And I love the fact that the other day I was sitting here and I was like, listening to some of the other Let's Talk Sports, and they're like, "Oh, this is the last episode of the season. We'll be back next year for AFC South Roundtable or whatever." And I was like, man, like we're gonna get back into because we started the show in April, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we had that couple of months where we were like grasping at straws for like stuff to talk about. Right, like we were ecstatic when the USFL started because we had some sort of football to talk about. But this year, it's like we got playoffs to start, and then we got hockey playoffs starting the same time the XFL's kicking off. We got some good stuff to talk about on the sports front. I'm excited. It's gonna be a good year for us. I can really feel it on the show. It's gonna be a good year for the show.
Baseball's pitchers catchers report in like 80 days, 70 days.
Yeah. Is it that much, really?
I can smell the baseball.
It's less than 90.
No, dude, it's
don't they report in February, like 30 days?
Yeah, it's
right?
like 30 days now.
Maybe I was thinking at the start of the season.
It was
spring training.
80 days, 50 days ago. Maybe that's what you were thinking of.
We kind of missed this earlier, but Shannon said sad when Texas high school fields can hold 20,000 plus, and they can pick a field that only holds 9,000. It's true though. I can confirm. Growing up in Texas,
that'll be interesting.
They treat high school like it's fucking crack.
Carlos
dude.
Correa.
Yeah.
He is still not officially a Met.
All right, yeah. That is crazy.
It all stems from a injury he had in the Houston Astros farm system where he broke his ankle, like his leg right above his ankle or something. And he's got a metal plate in there. And so the entirety of this whole situation is due to that plate. And when they do these physicals, they're not looking at them now. They're telling the future on these injuries and stuff that they can see in the body.
Yeah.
And so that's what this is all about. Is that, and they don't think like, well, maybe not 12 years actually, is what's really going on. But the Carlos Correa camp is currently out fielding offers, is what the rumor is. Twins potentially back in on it.
How many teams is he going to... Are the Cubs?
Give him a high dollar short-term deal. Why not? He'll be our third baseman until James Triantos comes up and he's ready to be the next savior of the franchise.
Do we just put Morel back in the minors then?
Nah, he's a bench piece. He play anywhere. He's our Zobrist.
Do you really want him sitting though?
Interesting thought processes. Jed, make it happen.
Let's do. Give me a call, Jed. I'll do your job for you. It's fine.
Does anybody sign Trevor Bauer? Anybody?
Somebody will to a league minimum.
I don't know.
I like your thought process about Houston. Houston doesn't give a shit. They cheat anyways.
Houston cheats.
Yeah.
They lost Verlander. They can add a piece.
Mets.
Yankees.
He seems like a guy the Mets would go after.
Yep. Agreed.
And they'll still pay him more than what they need to.
Oh,
because you only got to pay him league. You only got to pay him league minimum.
I did see something interesting on. I think it was Jeff Passan or John Heyman's Twitter that there's rumblings out there now, small, about like Steve Cohen and the Mets. Like this is the final like push over the cliff to getting us to a salary cap in baseball, which I'm like,
oh yeah,
I want that so bad.
Yeah. All right, so we got like 5 more minutes. Let's talk a little bit of wrestling. I know you two are not
the two
big
cool
into
dudes.
Wrestling,
Base.
but these
cool
two
guys.
Dudes, Jesus, my camera's all. These two.
There you go.
There we go.
Tips.
we're
Everybody touch
in wrestling.
The center.
I don't even know where the center is because everything's fucking backwards.
Yeah,
we look like fucking idiots.
Yeah, I'm in there. I'm in there.
All right.
Hashtag just the tip.
Just
speaking of San Antonio, the next PLE Premium Live event with the WWE is down in San Antonio.
Still not used to that.
What is it?
Prime Live event. No longer called pay-per-view. Premium Live event, sorry. No longer called pay-per-view. Because it's a streaming service now. You don't pay-per-view. It's a streaming It's a streaming service. It's on streaming now.
Can you
so it's not
subscribe?
You subscribe to Peacock.
Oh, that's cool. That's good.
Yeah.
So because Peacock owns the rights.
Which is why they think which the WWE is sounding like it's going to be for sale.
It's for sale, which they might sell to NBC.
Really? That sounds terrifying.
Yeah. I can't stand NBC Sports.
No.
We'll see.
Can you imagine Bob Costas calling a wrestling match?
No, we're not going that way.
Bob Costas.
I don't think we'll go back that
buy
way.
him, and we'll get Jim Nance
and Tony Romo.
No, I'll tell you what I want. I would pay top dollar. I would empty my bank account for whatever pay-per-view wrestling event that Booger McFarlane calls.
Oh my God. Let's put together your
Speaking
dream,
of top dollar.
Put together your dream wrestling announcing team and do it like it's an NFL sideline. You got the booth guys and you got a sideline reporter.
Pat McAfee's got to be the color guy.
Yeah, Pat McAfee for sure got to be in there.
For
Michael
color?
Cole in there.
Yeah, there you go.
Booger McFarlane. End of list.
Booger McFarlane, sure.
Now, does Booger automatically come with the Booger Mobile?
He just goes in the Booger Mobile, yes.
Yeah.
And blocks everybody.
Do you think they've melded into a cybernetic unit by now? Like Booger McFarlane is the Boogerville machine?
What if Joe
actually
Buck
died 10
did
years ago.
sideline and actually got attacked?
What?
Who, the Booger machine?
Kevin Owens walks over and just gives him the stunner. No, if Joe Buck, we let Joe Buck do the sideline, and
dude, you know what?
You know how that goes.
I'm gonna admit this right now. I want to hear Joe Buck call wrestling. I think that would be fantastic. There's no joke there. I think he would be fantastic at it.
A lot of people
sarcasm.
I like Joe Buck. Believe it or not, I like Joe Buck.
He said the best words I've ever heard in my life. And
true.
So
he did say that.
Yeah.
That is true.
The Cubs have finally won it all.
He turned down the Cardinals job. Did you hear that, Rick?
Well, no,
why wouldn't he?
There is an opening, Rick. You could move back to St. Louis and call Cardinals games.
Hey, I'd be cool.
Drink and drive, and you've got the
I'm just
job.
Nowhere near the baseball aficionado that you guys are.
I mean, all you gotta do is watch and tell what's going on in the fucking field. All right, back to Royal Rumble. We're getting off topic. Keith, I know we're 22 days away.
22, yeah.
Yeah.
28th.
22 days. 4 weeks tomorrow. No, 3 weeks tomorrow.
3 weeks tomorrow. I was like 20 minutes.
You had mentioned wanting to play a game at some point.
Yep. We can do it probably the Friday before. We all just pick a number.
Full announcements. Okay.
Yeah, we'll just pick a number. That's your entrant. You get that wrestler, no matter who it is. That's who you want to win.
Yeah.
There's
so the
two
number is tied to the wrestler.
To the wrestler. So there's 30 combatants. They all come out at increments. You get that number. So if you pick 15 and Kevin Owens comes out at 15, which he won't because he's got a match, that's your guy.
Correct.
And there's a women's match too, so we'll do two numbers. Can't pick the same number as somebody else. It's a lot of fun. I do it all the time. I've done it for 10 years.
That sounds fun. That sounds like one of those old
That sounds like a lot of fun until my number is a fucking Uso.
It's seems like something you would see at a vet hall. You know what I'm talking about? They're selling numbers.
Well, this is back when I was having
who's
people over.
in the Rumble right now?
Ricochet, officially. That's it. So far, officially Ricochet. And that's it.
Oh,
we did it 1 year.
It's Ricochet.
there was one year we were doing it with our buddy John, and he got Hornswoggle, who's a literal little person.
Did he win?
That would be
He did not
my
win.
luck.
He's a leprechaun. That was his character. A leprechaun.
So last year they built up like obviously some non-wrestler storylines before, right? Like the Johnny Knoxville storyline and shit like that. Yep. Do you foresee any of that happening this year with Hunter being in charge, or was that a Vince thing?
That was a Vince thing. We would have heard about it by now.
I liked that. Like that was cool.
Like we may get a surprise entrance here and there, but who knows? Like I'm sure Logan will be in it at some point. Logan Paul,
Shannon, Ryan, the VFW Royal Raffle.
Exactly.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
That's hilarious.
We still got some time to build up, so
yeah, I expected Flair to be a surprise entrant.
Well, now she's the chick.
Ric Flair,
but
Charlotte, his daughter.
Now Charlotte.
Ric Flair should do it.
Ric Flair needs to go away.
Ric Flair is old.
Yeah,
like
I know.
Really old.
He just did a wrestling match. Like
he just had a match.
His last match ever.
Oh wow!
He said it was his last.
He said it was his last match, but then he kind of went back on that, and he was like,
"That's like Goldberg a couple of years ago."
Yeah, and who did he fight?
I don't even know.
The owner of the Springfield Horseshoes, Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Hometown baseball team.
That's like Goldberg a few years ago, where he said like that Brock, or I don't remember who it was. I'm pretty sure it was Brock Lesnar that was going to be like his last match, but I think he had a couple more outside of that.
He's had a lot more since then.
Oh, okay. Well, shows you how much I know about wrestling.
He won't go away.
All right. So last thing we got to discuss real quick before we get out of here. College National Championship on Monday. TCU versus Georgia. Georgia is the favorite. SoFi Stadium did ban tailgating, which is fucking stupid.
That is the most California thing ever.
It's so. Listen, California, you've gone too far. I am one of the most progressive liberal people in Central Illinois, and if I'm telling you you've gone too far, you've gone too far.
How do you tell two college teams, two Southern college teams?
Georgia. How are you going to tell them to not tailgate?
Isn't one of them a Christian school? Or am I crazy?
Yes, Texas.
Yeah.
Christian's party. You know.
Sometimes.
All
right, let's call the game.
And a former horned frog.
He is a horned frog, isn't he?
Yeah.
My gut tells me Georgia, but I'm going to be rooting for TCU just because they're the underdog.
That's exactly
kind of a surprise,
where I'm at, too. Is like, I feel like Georgia's going to win, but I want TCU to win.
No, we're not saying who we're feeling, who's winning, or not who we want, who's winning the game.
I guess, if I'm a betting man, probably Georgia. But then again, I thought that that TCU would lose against, who was it, Michigan?
Michigan.
Yeah, I thought that Michigan would win that game, and they ended up beating Michigan. So,
you know what?
Crazy things have happened before.
I'm going to take TCU.
Keith.
TCU.
I'm taking TCU. Ohio State showed weaknesses in Georgia's secondary, and TCU's got a very good offense.
Yeah. Yes.
I guess I'll be the lone wolf. I hope that TCU wins, but I think I guess my call would be Georgia. But
Georgia's
I'm
the number one team for a reason.
Yeah.
You know.
For sure. I think next year, Rick, we need a lone wolf video. Like, you ever watch NFL Network in the mornings, like before on Sundays, how they do like the picks, and there's like the one guy, and he's like, "Well, I'll be the one wolf," and he puts on the hat. And he's like, "How? We need a lone wolf."
Oh, it can be like a drop almost.
Yeah.
All right, I can work on something like that.
Yeah, we got plenty of time, so we'll continue to think of ideas this off season as we roll into the rest of the season.
What if I got a soundboard?
Ooh.
That'd be dope.
Do you think I would be too annoying with it?
Yes.
Some nights, yeah.
Tonight I'd probably be a little annoying.
There would be like, we'd be on a show. It'd be like the Chicago Bears trade. No.
My eyes look so red in my camera, and I'm just like,
Your eyes are barely open. You look Chinese.
Oh my gosh. All right, boys, we're going to wrap this up tonight. Guys, don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Merchandise is in the description below if you want to rock a BAM sports shirt or a koozie, or if you didn't order your best friend a Christmas present and you need to give him something, the merch is open. Any other closing thoughts, fellas?
I think we're getting really lucky with some very quality football coming up this weekend. You know, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday with the national championship. So I think we're getting a really good slate of games. I'm excited.
I
about
agree.
it.
I'm excited to be at one of them tomorrow.
I'm excited
be fun.
for you. That's fucking awesome.
Pictures and video, please, so I can post it on Twitter that you're not on.
Yeah, send nudes.
Whoa.
Send me what section you're in. And I'll be like, hey, go buy Rick a beer.
Yeah, hey, I'm down.
See, Rick, I'm trying to get you free beer. Keith, what you looking for this weekend? Anything?
Packers.
Packers Lions.
You gonna be nervous all day on Sunday?
What's that?
You gonna be nervous all day on?
Probably. But my wife's sleeping down, so
Sunday.
if you didn't, I wouldn't know who you were.
This is true. All right, boys. We will be back on Tuesday. We'll see you guys then. Peace out, y'all.
Later, fellas.
Bye.
Go Pack. I got it in that time.
Not. We're in the show. Absolutely not. So we will try this again.
No. Yeah, let's try it again. Let's start it over.
We will be back on Monday. Enjoy your football.
Take 2.
Bye.
Go Bears.
Take him out first.
Go
Bears.
Seahawks.